For show and tell today, I have the TST R7 moped style cargo e-bike. There's two different versions of this on their site. One you can get with a trunk. This is a trunk. I keep calling it a box in the video, but it's a trunk. And the other version is, well, it's the same exact bike and it'll come with an extra little cushion for a second person, but it is a lot more expensive to buy the standard model and then get the trunk afterwards, because the trunk by itself is $269. But if you get it all at once, then the trunk is only $100 extra. This cargo bike features full suspension, so there's suspension in the front and the back, a 1500 watt motor, a huge headlight in the front, a tail light in the back, a big bright colorful LCD screen, Shimano 7-speed gear shift system, hydraulic disc brakes, Chaoyang fat tires, 20 inches in diameter and 4 inches wide. They say it can go up to 32 miles an hour, which I will test, and they say it can do up to 65 miles on a single charge. Next up is my test ride. I'm gonna see how fast the bike can go, how well it can handle a hill, and just my overall thoughts on the ride. And since the assembly portion for this is fairly long, I'm gonna put that at the end of the video. And no, the bike is not hard to assemble at all. There's just a lot of screwing in the rear end with the trunk, but everything else is very easy. Well, the trunk is easy too. There's just a lot of screwing. There's gonna be a lot of screwing in this video. That didn't come out right. All right. The bike comes as a class 2, so before I ride it, I'm gonna fully unlock the speed. In order to do that, I have to use one hand to hold down the left brake while the bike is off, and then somehow hold down plus, minus, and the power button at the same time until something happens on the screen. If this white line is flashing, you did it right. So from here, and this part has to be done pretty quickly, hold down plus and minus at the same time, use the light button to get to P3. I already have it set to 1, it was on 0, so use the plus and minus buttons to adjust that. If it's at 1, it's correct, and now power down the bike. Oh, I really want to try something before another rider comes through here. Look at this. I'm going to try rolling over this. I'm just going to put it a little bit into the road right there and see how well my fat tires handle it. Yep, as expected, these can roll over almost anything. I am approaching the tallest hill in my area, so I'm gonna put this on gear 1, pedal assist 5, and from very little running start, let's see if I can make it up this hill. No issues. No issues at all. Is the screen going wonky? It's not doing that in real life. I've messed with the frame rate. I normally film in 8K, even though it doesn't come out as 8K. So I put it on 4K, 100 frames per second, and yeah, it's still doing that. Okay, so I got it on pedal assist 5. The throttle's right here. It's just this little lever. Let's see how fast it goes. Maybe I should fast forward through this part because it's not the most exciting thing to watch, especially since it's really hard to see the screen. But I did get it up to 28 miles an hour. According to the company, the max speed is supposed to be 32 miles an hour, but they said that's under ideal conditions. So maybe if I wasn't sitting on the bike, or if I'm going downhill, then I can probably get it to 32. Let's pedal my little buns on this big seat as fast as they can go. Yeah, that feels a little strange pedaling because it feels like the seat's not high enough. I feel like this bike is more for just sitting there like a lump. Yup, lumpty dumpty, throttle only. Oh yeah, and it also has blinkers. If you look really closely next to the minus button and the plus button, there are these little arrows. It won't do anything if you just push on it. You actually have to click it twice. And it's kind of awkward because as you just saw, it went from pedal assist 1 to 0. It's really hard to push that button separately without changing the pedal assist. So if you did it right, those lines over here will be flashing. And they do eventually just turn off by themselves, so if you forget to turn off the blinker, it will eventually just stop blinking on its own. So there we go. But I do think it's pretty cool that it actually shows you on the screen when the blinkers are blinking and when they turn off. So it's about to turn off, any moment now. Here we go. The light actually has its own separate, pretty big button. Right now the light is on. To turn it off, you just hold it, and then to turn it on, hold it again. And let's see if the light turns off when I turn off the bike. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, so let's find out. Yes, cool. I really thought, oh, I love leaning back on this. I really thought that with the seat not being adjustable and so big and bulky, that I would struggle getting the bike forward without the assistance of the throttle. But watch this. It's barely a push on the pedal and the motor kicks in. Look at that. I think I maybe went not even a quarter of the way with the pedals. It's almost instant, almost. And I'm going off-road right now. It's a big, heavy bike, and I have no issues getting it to move forward. But I do prefer riding it on electric mode. I just feel awkward pedaling it. My knees feel like they're going all the way up to my toes. Whether I'm off-road or not, it is a very comfy ride because of the suspension, because of the big cushy seat, and because I can lean back on the trunk. Here you can see a little bit better what I was talking about, how quickly the motor kicks in, and then how easy it is to pedal and move this bike forward even when I'm off-road and on some lumpy, bumpy ground. If you did end up getting the trunk and you're finding it difficult to open, whether you're using the key or not, so let's say you unlock it and you don't know how to lift all this, there's a button underneath here. So you just push that and it all comes up. The trunk on the back, it's not just for storage. I'm finding it very comfy to lean on, even when I'm riding. But when I'm just chilling here, taking in the views around me, I really enjoy sitting like this. But when I'm pedaling, the seat is not so comfortable. It's just because it's really wide, which makes pedaling a bit awkward. But sitting on it is comfortable. It is cushy. I really don't think it was made for pedaling, but that's pretty clear by the name of the bike. I think my helmet's casting a weird shadow over my face. It does that in all my pictures too. Oh. TST R7 Moped style cargo e-bike. Well, technically it's the TST R7. Recommended rider height is between 5'2" to 6'4". For reference, I am 5'8", and I usually don't accept e-bikes without an adjustable seat because of my height, but I really wanted to try this one anyways because of the dual suspension and the trunk. I like when I don't have to wear my backpack. It was a lot more convenient putting all my stuff into the trunk. So at my height, it does feel a little awkward compared to a regular bike with an adjustable seat, but because I'm getting assistance from the motor, it really didn't put any extra pressure on my knees. It was still really easy to pedal, even with the bike weighing 82.67 pounds. And speaking of weight, the most the bike can carry, the load capacity, is 450 pounds. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to capture this. I'm gonna try. But I've noticed on pedal assist 2 and higher, the front wheel sometimes lifts up. And I'm not trying to do wheelies here. So if you don't want to do a wheelie, you do have to start off very slowly, and I do recommend pedal assist 1. That was pedal assist 2, and the wheel lifted up. And yeah, I was at a standstill with my feet on the ground, but that's happened to me with my feet on the pedals. So I thought I would point it out. She's a bit heavy in the behind. It would be nice if they made a dual motor version of this, because maybe that would solve some of that issue. It's true, I don't fully test these e-bikes. I don't have that kind of time. They claim that the range is up to 65 miles on a single charge, and you may be able to get that under ideal conditions. Ideal means you weigh very little, you use the bike only on flat paved ground, and no more than pedal assist 1 and pedaling, not full electric mode. In full electric mode, you're not going to get 65 miles. Probably about half that, maybe a little more. Okie dokie, so that completes my ride. If you're interested in this bike, I do have a link down below in the video's description. Also do check for a coupon code because that might be down there as well. And if you're here for the assembly portion, that is next. In this box, there is pedals. Clearly labeled right and left. Can you even? There we go. Tools. This usually comes on the bike. It's to protect the derailleur during shipping. I usually leave these on when they're already on, unless it interferes with me shifting, and then I remove them. I guess you could also use it just to protect the derailleur if you're one of those people that drops the bike a lot or just tosses it to the ground. And this charger, I'm definitely gonna give it a full charge before I use the bike. I'm not sure how much it comes with. It's usually not full. Another thing that's usually on the bike, the kickstand. Kickstands are technically optional, but I think I'm gonna put it on. And what is in here? I'm still perplexed. Maybe I'll figure it out once I start assembling the bike. And last but not least, the user manual. So let's begin. Wait, I forgot about this box. It's an important box because it contains the headlight, and it's a big boy. Look at that thing. Oh, actually, there is another box. I believe this is an additional accessory, as an additional cost on top of the bike. Look at that cool box. Oh, and it locks too. There's got to be a key somewhere, right? In here, maybe? So instead of a passenger seat on the back side of the box, of the bike, I can put this. Oh yeah, and everything I need for it is in the bag. In the box. This is not an order of the instructions, but I'm gonna start with the handlebars. So there's these 2 screws right here. I'm gonna loosen up and then pull this thing forward. And then I'm gonna take out these 4 screws in the front. Next, I'm gonna plop the handlebars into that spot, and they don't fit. I had to refer to the instructions. I've never seen it done this way, so hopefully this works. But what they're telling me to do is to undo this part right here. There's this little rubber piece I'm gonna remove for now. And there's a screw here I'm gonna take out. I'm gonna need to take this out, and it says to remove this and flip it 180 degrees. I don't know why it couldn't have already come that way, but yeah, here we are. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those 2 pieces back. Well, technically 3 with the little rubber cover thingamabobber. Go ahead and retighten the 2 screws on the side. I'm gonna put this little rubber cover piece back on here. That's just for aesthetics. And now the handlebars should fit. Yes. Now this piece goes back on here along with the 4 screws. Putting together an e-bike is a lot of screwing, and you may be tempted to use power tools because it would make the process a lot faster. But a bike mechanic told me not to, so here we are. Chime in if you are a bike mechanic and have any thoughts on that. I think I need to put on the kickstand first before I try to put on the wheel. There's 2 screws that are already on this, so I'm gonna go ahead and take those out. Then this goes over here, and I put the 2 screws back. To put on the wheel, I think it's gonna be easier with the bike upside down. Before I flipped it, I did remove the battery because I'm weak.
To remove the battery, it does require the key. There's no little snapping noise or anything. You just turn the key and pull out the battery. The battery is 48 volts, 15 ampere hours.
Next, I gotta remove this, but I'm gonna hold on to it because this is gonna go through the wheel. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a little plastic bit that needs to come out. Once this is out, do not hit the brakes. So with this, I am going to, for now, remove everything, including this. This is just a sleeve, which won't be needed. Then I'm gonna take this piece, stick it through the wheel. I'm gonna put this piece back, this washer, and I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And now I can plop the wheel into here. Next is this washer with the little hook. And there is a hole for that little hook. And finally, the nut. And same thing on the other side. And of course, tightening all this down is the most important thing. And you do kind of, this is hard to see, so I'm just gonna try to explain it. The part where the rotor, this part goes in, try to align it so it's centered in that little gap right here between the brake pads. And when you spin the wheel, you shouldn't hear any scraping. Fender's optional, but since the back one's already on there, I'm gonna install the front one. And you can do this before the wheel is on, but I usually do it after. So that just kind of goes into here. There's a screw here, one on the other side, and then one up here I have to remove. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You just remove the screws and then you screw the screws back in. The headlight attaches separately, so I'm gonna remove these 2 screws. And the headlight's gonna go between these 2 brackets here, but they're kind of loose, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten them down. I'm gonna put the light in this way, so with the fatter side facing up. And on the inside with the light is also these little rubber washers. They came off with the screw, and they do go on the inside. And same thing on the other side, so this washer goes on the inside. And the screw goes on the floor. It goes on the floor, that's where it goes. That's where everything goes. Oh yeah, and don't forget to connect the light. Remember this thing that I was confused about? Didn't know what it is? They're foot pegs. And they mount right here. And by the way, if you're not gonna use these, make sure that screw is really tight, because for me it came very loose. I didn't use any tools to loosen that up. That's how loose it was. To secure this foot peg, it says to use an Allen wrench. So I'm gonna stick it through that center hole and tighten this down. Next, it says to attach these cushions, but I'm only gonna attach one of them because I'm putting on that box. I keep calling this a box, but it's a trunk. First is this piece. So these 2 go right there. I need to start with this screw first, the one that has this like really flat top. Stick it through here. I'm gonna take the next piece, put it over this, and then somehow I'm supposed to put 4 screws through this, but there's only those 2 holes right there that I didn't put the screws through. And then I'm gonna try to attach this to the rest of the bike. And I'm guessing it's these big beefy boys. These are a little tough to screw in. They're big, beefy, and there's definitely a little bit of resistance going in. They fit, all the holes match up and everything. It's just kind of a pain in the butt screwing them in. I'm gonna take these shorter screws and plop them in through this part, because I don't see anywhere else where they could possibly go. Next, it says to put in the trunk. So there's these 2 little doodads here, and it lines up with these 2 pieces on here. For this next part, I gotta go in from the inside, so I'm gonna remove all of this stuff. And it doesn't really tell you what screw to use, so I have decided on this one. Can you even see into this abyss? I hope so. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that screw through the only hole. Then I'm gonna take the nut, put it on the bottom, and tighten everything down with tools.
At this point of the video, my microphone died. It had been quite a few hours that I was working on this bike, so I do apologize, but as you can see, it's pretty self-explanatory without me having to yap through the whole video, even though that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I guess at this point, I'm just gonna go ahead and do my outro, since I didn't do that during the ride. Brace yourself, it's very cheesy. But before I do that, once again, if you are interested in this bike, I do have a link down below in the video's description. Do check for a coupon code, and I hope to see you in the next video. And for those of you that watch my videos all the way through, I do have a little surprise. Remember my other channel? It's coming back very soon. I'm currently working on a video for that. And now it's time for the outro. Toodaloo-dee-loo. Bye. Oh wait, the pedals. The right one, it screws on there clockwise, and then the left one will screw on there counterclockwise. Okay,